All right, well, welcome to the second book haul of mine. I guess it's the third book haul on my channel because Ryan did one recently. Also, it is incredibly windy in Boston this weekend, so if you hear wind, think of it as good ambiance, all right? Let's just go with it. But I have a lot of books. If you can tell, I've taken a lot of them off my shelves to do this haul. I have books I bought myself, I have gifts from my birthday, I've got books that I kind of took from my mom's place that I like lent to her or maybe gave to her, but I wanted them. And then I do have like an ARC. So I figure let's go through it all. Let's start with gifts because those are always fun. And I will link any channels down below of people who've gifted me things, and I will try and bring up where I bought things from. But first, I just think this is funny because it obviously says a lot about my personality. I had Kayla and Jocelyn both give me a Natural History of Dragons by Mary Brennan, which I just read The Mask of Mirrors, which is written by two authors, one of them Mary Brennan, so now I'm extra excited. But the fact that two people who know me were like, this scientific fantasy reader needs a scientific fantasy book. It warms my heart. So I have two copies. I'm going to give one to my mom because I think she'll really like it too. So they will both be used, but thank you, Jocelyn and Kayla. That's just great and makes me smile so much. And then Evie actually got me two books. One of them, she actually was just like, hey, I saw that you wanted this and I'm never going to read it again. And the other one was straight up just a gift. And so this one, she said, was her favorite book. I'm pretty sure that's what she said on the note. Yes, this is her favorite novel. And I'll have her channel link down below. She just started her channel and she seems to be having a blast. And this is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I have only read one Jane Austen. I read Pride and Prejudice in high school, and it was actually one of the few classics I liked. So I'm excited to read this one day when I'm feeling motivated to read a classic. And as you guys know, I read the Binti trilogy last year, and I talked about how I'd like to reread it, even though it was kind of an odd experience for me. I have a review for that series, but she gave me her hard copy of the Binti trilogy, so I'm really happy to have this on my shelf because although I have issues with the series, I love the imagination, and I kind of want to read it again one day just so I can enjoy that and not be as bothered as by some of the plot points that bothered me, because I would just be there like on a trip looking at the world. And Jocelyn also got me another book. This one I'm really excited to read. It's The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector, and I just know she's a really big name in Latinx classic literature. It's a nice little short one, and I just really love the colors, and it's one of Jocelyn's favorite reads, so I was really happy that she thought of me when she sent this to me. Now my coworker got me The Golem and the Genie, I don't know. Apparently this is like a historical fantasy, and the second book is coming out soonish, even though this one I think came out quite a long time ago. I really like how it looks and everything. I don't know much about it, but I always love when people think of me and are like, I think you'll like this book, because we talk about fantasy books at work all the time. Every time I read a book that I think she'll like, I'm just like, you need to get this. She might have been one of the people I forced to read The Sword of Kaigen immediately, even before I finished the book. So those are all the gifts that I had sent to me. Oh, actually no, there's one more, but I put it in my ARC pile. This is Machine Hood by S.B. Divya. This was given to me by Cassidy. And actually she gave me one other book, but it's all the way in the other room. So I'll put a picture of it here. And thank you so much for both of them. We did a Secret Santa thing together with a bunch of our friends. And this was a physical ARC that she gave me that comes out this year on March 2nd. So I did mention that in my anticipated releases video. So I'm pretty pumped to get to this. So that's officially all the gifts. And then I recently, again, Jocelyn was like, hey, someone reached out to me about a book and it seems like a book you might like. And it's Nine of Swords by Brooklyn Quintana. I think she's a Cuban-American author. And I don't really know much about it. She briefly told me it was kind of a fantasy. Guy goes to a military school, but things are happening, and it is huge and heavy. It is a dense one. She said it was dark and quirky in her description to me, and all I know is I always want to get all my hands on all of the fantasy that's inspired by Latinx culture, and this is one of those. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to be YA or adult or straddle the line. I know not that many people know about it, but it comes out in May. So I think Jocelyn and I are going to try and read this in April because we both have ARCs, and it's going to be exciting. Okay, so those are the ARCs and the gifts, so things that I had no control over. And now let's get into things I stole from my mom's house, because really that's what happened. This is actually my copy, so I read There for my book club, and I really like this multi-point of view, contemporary, indigenous, own voices story. I highly recommend it. But just know that it is multi-point of view, and I think only the paperback has the like characters in the front. I know a lot of people who read the hardback in my book club were really confused, and I know Annalisa from Annalisa Ellie had issues with the audiobook just keeping track of the characters, but I really love the convergence of these threads and just all the commentary that's in here, and it's also just a good story in its own right. So I wanted to have this on my shelves to reread again. Similarly, I got Pachinko for my whole family to read. This is a wonderful generational historical fiction. It takes place primarily in Japan, but it's a Korean family that ends up in Japan, and there's actually like a lot of stuff that's very complicated in the Korean-Japanese relationship, especially in the 20th century. Stuff that I didn't know about, that I learned about through this historical fiction and kind of delved into a bit more. And it's amazing. I actually have this on Kindle too. I just wanted to have the physical because no one else in my family was going to reread it. But hands down, stole my heart. And it's so thick. Like for a historical fiction, it's almost 500 pages. It spans basically the 20th century. It's tragic. It's so consuming. The writing is beautiful. Normally, historical fictions aren't things that sweep me away like a fantasy does, and this one does that for me. So needed to take that. And of course, this is no surprise. I took the Broken Earth trilogy. I got my mom the box set for her birthday, and she read them all. And we were gonna have my stepdad read them, and he wasn't reading them. And I refused to buy myself copies because I know the minute I buy myself copies, there will be special editions I want to buy. So until then, for when I want to reread it, which I want to reread it, I got these from my mom's place. She can always have them back if she wants. Now into my purchases. Well, we'll start with the big one first, and that is The Way of Kings special edition. They are gorgeous. They get to go right next to my other ones. I have been waiting for these. I felt like everyone got them before me, and they just came in this week. I'm so happy. They are gorgeous. Let's see. I'll show you both of them just briefly. There are plenty of videos that show the pages better, so you can go look at those. But just like, it's so pretty. And it's split into two, so they can actually, in theory, be read. I don't read these that often just because I kind of prefer reading long fantasy on my Kindle these days. It's just easier on my hands. But I love looking at the pictures. I just love seeing them in my collection. I'm a book collector, what can I say? So that was really exciting. And here we go. Now, like I said, I have a huge gift card to my local bookstore because I help run the book club. And so most of these I actually didn't spend money on, but I'm still quite intimidated by how many books that I added to my shelves recently. So we're gonna start off with some Rebecca Roanhorse, who's someone I discovered last year and really love her writing. So we got Trail of Lightnings, the first book in the Sixth World series. I read this in August and really liked it. It's about Maggie, a monster hunter who goes out with Kay or Kai. I don't know. They're kind of like, they're working together, but begrudgingly, and there's monsters, and it's post-apocalyptic urban fantasy, and I had a great time. I just love monster hunter characters and monster hunting. And I really do like the, I think it's Denethor influences. So yeah, because the premise is only the Denethor land survived after this great flood. And also after this great flood, magic comes back into the world. So yeah, and I got Storm of Locusts because I need to read this. Have not read it yet. Was supposed to read it in January. I don't think that's happening, but I have it for when I do read it, and I'm pretty excited. I also really like the size of these paperbacks. I like how tall they are, and I like that they're like reasonable sized stories. They make me excited to pick them up. And last year I read Black Sun, and I had an ARC. Well, it was actually like a Goodreads giveaway, but it was like an ARC. And I knew that I liked the book enough, because I have a review if you were curious about my thoughts, that I wanted to reread it before the sequel, whenever that happens. And these were on sale on Amazon for like $12. So I was like, okay, I need to get it. Like the paperback will be more expensive than that when it comes out. And it has these gorgeous maps that I didn't have in my ARC edition. Like gorgeous maps. And I like how the spine looks. I just really love this. This is gorgeous. It looks amazing on camera. Like how? But I do have a review for this. Like I said, I like a lot of it. I'm excited to reread it. I'm really intrigued about the rest of this world and story. I just get along with Rebecca Roanhorse's writing really well. And the ARC I'm going to send back home to my friends who I occasionally just give books to, and I'm like, read this. And then eventually they do, and they usually have a good time, most of the time. Another one I bought because it was on sale, but also I had a gift card, so It was on sale, but I also didn't spend money on it, and that was Her Body and Other Parties. I have a review for this. This is a short story collection I love and want to reread always. And so it's also a really creepy cover. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but this is like a woman's head, kind of, and like her throat and like the muscles of it. It's really creepy. It's really great, creepy, but not like super scary. It's more like unsettling. But it was like $7, so I got it. I'm just really happy about that. And then I went back a couple weeks later, and I had been staring at this book, and I finally got it. And that's In the Dream House by the same author, Carmen Maria Machado. I have not read this, but this is in my video for 21 books I want to read in 2021. And so I figured I might as well just get it. I have the gift card, and I like this author, and it feels nice. It's the same height as her other books, so when they're on the shelf, it'll look good. I'm a very aesthetically driven book collector. And I normally don't purchase novellas, especially when I haven't read them. But again, I have all of this money that I don't know what to do with for a bookstore. So I decided to buy Upright Women Wanted. So Judith, be happy if you're watching this. And so I bought it, because normally novellas are kind of pretty expensive. Like, they're the same price as a novel, but they're smaller. And I do like how it looks and how it feels, and even if I don't like it, I can pass it along to a friend or donate it somewhere. So I bought this, which again, also in that 21 to read in 2021. You're gonna see a theme, because the next two are actually from that list as well, and they're both by Victor LaValle. So I had both of these for like horror reads I wanted to try. So I have The Ballad of Black Tom, so another novella, which I don't typically get. It's like Lovecraftian horror vibes, but through, I think, more like the Black experience. I just know people love it, and I want to read it. And then The Changeling, which was actually shelved in the fantasy section, but I know it's like fantasy horror, which I do like fantasy horror, at least when I've read it a little bit. So pretty pumped about this. This next one's weird. So I was at the store, like I said, I was kind of just like buying things because I like needed the serotonin, and I saw their like Spanish literature, like of popularized fiction. And I know in my goals video, I want to read a book in Spanish written by a Spanish author, but while I was there, they had a bunch of popular works written in Spanish, and I just was like perusing, and I was trying to find one that used like simple sentence structures, because I just know that that's where my level of reading comprehension is at in Spanish. And I have read this book way back in college, and this is the Spanish version of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which I remember liking well enough, and I remembered in English it being really straightforward, and I read like the first page of it in Spanish, and I'm like, I think this is something I could conceivably consume and be successful in. So I'm trying to be successful in my goal, and I figured it wasn't like that expensive. But yeah, so Bajo la misma estrella, Below the Same Star, which is a different title, but I'm pretty sure it's The Fault in Our Stars, because this is the same cover. So, but I could be wrong, because I might actually be a John Green that's like Beneath the Same Star. But so, I don't know. But regardless, the sentence structure seems fine. And now I'm second guessing everything. But moving on. And the last three, the pile is getting, it's getting bad over here. Is I recently, one of them is in my like book cover sleeve, but I got the entire Bear and the Nightingale, it's the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden. So Bear and the Nightingale, like I said, this is The Girl in the Tower right now, and The Winter of the Witch. I have been wanting to get copies of these for a while. I was rereading The Bear and the Nightingale on my mom's paperback, because I figured I could potentially finish the collection with paperbacks, but I honestly just liked how the spines looked in hardback form. So yeah, like I said, I'm very aesthetically driven when it comes to things. And those I actually got on Amazon. The rest you saw I got from my local bookstore with gift cards. So all things considered, I'm not too stressed, and I'm sure I'm forgetting things that I've purchased or acquired. And I have a few things on the way, but goodness knows when they're getting here. The US Postal Service is just a mess. So that's it. And I'm not really looking to get that many more anytime soon. I'm getting to mass capacity level on my shelf, so I just need to like calm down and stop liking books is really where it's at. But otherwise, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this random book haul. I just did it because I think my hair looks good today, and I could be wrong about that, but I feel good about these curls. They're so floofy. Anyways, that's it for this one. If you want to use an emoji, I offer you the stack of books emoji to use in the description, the comments down below. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.